Beyonce has been giving us hints at Act 3 this whole time. And I'm not talking about silver and white, those colors still apply. But I'm talking about Renaissance being blue and Cowboy Carter being red, representing all of the colors in the entire trilogy in itself, especially if you mix red and blue together. Then what would you get? But then I noticed how she put the red and blue look in the Cowboy Carter era, which also proves that they merge. Like her having them touch each other here and here. But what I didn't realize was that the merge is happening earlier than I realized. And this is why I started saying that she leaves clues in the lyric videos. Because one day I looked at the lyric videos near the end of Renaissance and noticed that the red started appearing towards the end of the album. Like Move, All Up in Your Mind, America Has a Problem, Pure Honey, and Summer Renaissance. Then America Has a Problem remix includes it because she includes the American flag in it as well. And remember that America Has a Problem remix has Kendrick on it. And I've already talked about why it seemed like something that's coming with both of them. And then when Cowboy Carter arrived, I noticed in songs like Yeah Yeah, she talks about a whole lot of red in that white and blue. And Cowboy Carter being the red era mostly. Then Desert Eagle where she has the red and blue lighting reflecting on the cups. Then notice how she put Shabuzi on Spaghetti and Sweet Honey Buckin'. And notice how she did one feature with Kendrick on America Has a Problem remix. So with that, I think she'll do 3 for Act 3. But if you look at the covers to the Cowboy Carter lyric videos, she made them red, white, and blue. So she's mixing the colors into these albums while also making the main color of them the main focus in each era. And that's when I started to notice the pattern of both albums. Just like how the vibe of Renaissance was different and the songs give a smooth transition into the next one, as it would if you were in an actual club. Then you have Cowboy Carter, which would be the radio style, and how it transitions into the next station. But now let's move the albums around in the original order that Beyonce said it was originally supposed to go in, which is putting Cowboy Carter before Renaissance, especially after seeing her include My House in the Cowboy Carter tour, which I think could also be included in Act 3. And I talked about this theory a little, but if you look at the actual Renaissance theater, I talked about how the ceiling looks like the Renaissance stage, but also how the red curtain is the red curtain in the Cowboy Carter tour. And if Cowboy Carter was first, then this would have been a transition into Renaissance. Because if you look at most of the pictures Beyonce took during that era, she includes the red curtain. So with that, we know that everything she has in these pictures can mean something. And now let's look at the pictures from the Grand Prix in Vegas with this chess style background, and even on the floor from her switching it, and the looks. So you could tell that it means something. So stay tuned until I show you how these pictures relates to Act 3's stage design. But for now, let's talk about the Alice in Wonderland theory again, but this time let's get into the full thing. But here's the video for context.
She's the Queen of Hearts. Beyonce is the Queen of Hearts. That's why the theme is red for Act 3. That's why we had that random Valentine's Day drop. Let me explain. Genius Underfollowed, Delulu Hive account, posted that they thought that Beyonce's outfit the other night at her Lemonade dinner supposedly looked like Stevie Nicks on the cover of her 4th studio album, The Other Side of the Mirror. That album is directly inspired by the story of Alice in Wonderland with songs like Rooms on Fire, Cry Wolf, etc. Let's follow the theme of looking at the 3rd track on the albums that we've been analyzing. The 3rd track on Stevie Nicks' album, The Other Side of the Mirror, is a song called Two Kinds of Love. That song features Bruce Hornsby of Grateful Dead. He and I share a birthday. That song also features a sax interlude from the one and only Kenny G. Interesting. But when I looked at that frock, the color of it reminds me of the Valentine's Day drop. And I have not been able to stop thinking about that Valentine's Day drop because it felt so random at the time. Then I went back to thinking, well, what other Alice in Wonderland themes have we been missing? And the Queen of Hearts is it. She's been giving us so many heart hints. There was her as the Queen of Hearts on the Texas Hold'em playing cards from Cowboy Carter era. A picture of her from the Grammys after party, I forget, where she had on that all red outfit and the heart purse. Also, as that Delulu Hive page pointed out, there's her in that all red outfit at F1 in Las Vegas on that checkered floor. Get this, the Queen of Hearts persona character is often confused with the Red Queen, which is actually the antagonist for the sequel to Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is called Through the Looking Glass. She's the Queen of Hearts, she's the Red Queen, and these are fantastic album titles.
Now let's go back to the Peepshow Interlude and how the scene from the Peepshow Interlude and the scene from 6 Inch is similar to each other, like I talked about. But what I want to point out is the box here. Then the other one in the Peepshow Interlude where Beyonce is grabbing Cowboy Carter. Now look at the box that they are sticking their hand through, and the one from 6 Inches glowing red, and the outline around Beyonce's Beyonce's face on the merch is red, with the warning of her being a problem being red as well. But also let's look back at the box from the Travis Scott Del Resto music video. Then you'll see the pattern that I see. But now look at the mirror Beyonce used, and how it's not like the mirror Prince had in this picture. Hers is square shaped and his is round. But let's look at Prince's mirror for a minute and connect the arrow from the Cowboy Carter stage to the circle of the Renaissance stage. And what do you get? Prince's love symbol, right? And I talked about how it's similar to the Ankh and how both of the gender symbols merge together to make it one. So basically the masculine and the feminine energy merge together to become one, like I showed you here. And that will be you mixing red and blue together to get purple. And Renaissance was the feminine era, and how Act 3 could be both merged together. Now look at these pictures of Beyonce standing on and in front of the squares, and how the flag even has squares. Then look at the Cowboy Carter stage and how there was also squares you could stand on, like in the last picture with the finish line flag. And right here it says that the masculine energy could represent a square or a triangle, and we know that the Cowboy Carter stage was a pyramid and not a square, so it has to be a square for Act 3. And I researched that if you were to merge a circle and a triangle together, then it would become a divine union. And the reason that I came up with this conclusion, how it was set up like a PlayStation controller, that Beyonce used the colors to the PlayStation symbols. But now that I got into parts of that theory, let's go back to the square pattern she's pushing. But first we have to look at that refrigerator commercial Beyonce recreated, and specifically this menu on the board and the refrigerator one. So I looked up 1988, the year and not the price, and the original commercial popped up. So I looked up the background music included in the Levi commercial, which was the song Managed Boy, and that made me look up who the artist was, and Muddy Waters came up, and he played blues, and Muddy Waters was signed to Chess Records. And after seeing the Alice in Wonderland theory, then noticing the Chess Records logo, and I started doing research on the chessboard, and you see the chess pieces to the chessboard, and her using this finish line theme looks like the chessboard makeup as well, and how it also includes the chessboard. But Chess Records had artists like Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Jackie Brenston, and Etta James, and she also referenced her role as playing Etta in the pool hall commercial. And Jackie Brenston played the sax, which reminded me of Beyonce playing the sax in the Verizon commercial. Hence at Jackie Brenston, and what it says at the bottom, Beyonce B. I wonder if that's like a clue. But those were artists who introduced rock and roll to Chess Records as well. But now going into the story of Humpty Dumpty, it makes me think of something. Beyonce breaking the egg in Renaissance. But lastly, noticing the giant square Beyonce is standing on, and the little squares within that one also was a clue to me. And I also want to add that Prince's estate is dropping an album called Timeless on August 28th, 2026.